for this special briefing on Prime Minister's visit to South Africa, Johannesburg, for the G20 summit. We have with us Secretary Economic Relations, who looks after G20 affairs in the Ministry of External Affairs, Sri Sudhakar Dalela, for this special briefing. As also, we are joined by a High Commissioner of India to South Africa, Sri Prabhat Kumar. We also have Sri Shambhu Haki, who's Joint Secretary in the Ministry of External Affairs, who looks after G20 issues. With that, I would first like to invite a High Commissioner to take us through the developments that have happened on the bilateral side, and thereafter I'll request Secretary ER to make his initial remarks. Can I call upon the High Commissioner? Sir, over to you.
Thank you, Randeep. Let me start with what has happened in the last couple of days. You must have seen the warm welcome which was given to Prime Minister Modi when he came to Johannesburg. Of course, the government, as soon as he landed, he was welcomed by a minister in the presidency, and there was a ceremony there, and thereafter he came to Sandton Sun, and a good gathering of people. First, as soon as he entered the hotel, there was some cultural program, dances, and also a song on the indentured, from the indentured community on Ganga Maiya, which was really, liked by the Prime Minister. Whenever Prime Minister comes to any part of the world, but Johannesburg, this was his fourth visit to South Africa. But whenever he comes to Johannesburg, the welcome he gets is really, really warm. So thank you, Johannesburg, for that. We had, around 300 to 400 people, but more people wanted to come. But because of lack of space and security reasons, we could only accommodate that much. So we are sorry for others who couldn't join, but they must have seen on TV our Prime Minister, or otherwise, and perhaps there will be some other occasion when Prime Minister is here. So very enthusiastic welcome, and the joy and the happiness shown by people. Of course, the Prime Minister was also very happy to be here. We had yesterday, after this warm welcome, a few meetings. One was with the tech entrepreneurs of Indian origin who are here. So young tech entrepreneurs who explain to the Prime Minister the areas in which they are working, and how the technology that they are working on is helping people. So that made Prime Minister make some suggestions. Then he had a meeting with some of the leaders of organizations of the Indian origin people, and that was also went off very well, and that way he was able to connect with the community in otherwise the leadership. So, and he had a conversation with them. Thereafter, we also had a meeting with NASPERS. The NASPERS CEO was here, and NASPERS CEO, of course, he talked about the investments that NASPERS has made in India, and the investments it is going to make in the coming years. And Prime Minister had some suggestions on which areas they could look into. So that meeting also went very well. So these were the, for yesterday's activity. Of course, on G20, we have the Secretary and the Joint Secretary who will perhaps give you information. Thank you very much.
Sir, over to you.
Well, thank you very much, Randeep, and good evening, everyone. As my colleague Randhir has mentioned, Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi participated today in the G20 Leaders Summit hosted by the President of South Africa. This has been Prime Minister's 12th participation in G20 summits. As High Commissioner Prabhat mentioned, Prime Minister has been to South Africa earlier. He came in 2016 on a bilateral visit, followed by 2018 and 2023 for attending the BRICS summits. This is his fourth visit, but this G20 summit was special for many of us, certainly for India, because this was the first time G20 summit took place in Africa, and it was also the fourth Global South presidency of G20 in succession. As you would recall, Indonesia chaired the G20 presidency in 2022, followed by India, Brazil, and then, of course, South Africa. Prime Minister addressed both the sessions of the opening day of the summit today. He thanked Honorable President Ramaphosa for his warm hospitality and for a very successful organization of the summit. At the opening session on inclusive and sustainable economic growth, leaving no one behind, Prime Minister appreciated the work done by the group under the South African presidency in areas such as skilled migration, tourism, food security, artificial intelligence, digital economy, innovation, and women empowerment. Prime Minister recalled some of the historic decisions taken during the New Delhi G20 summit and that have been carried forward by the South African presidency. Prime Minister emphasized that it was time to look at new parameters of development, one which addressed imbalance of growth and over-exploitation of nature. In this context, Honorable Prime Minister noted that the idea of integral humanism based on India's civilizational wisdom must be explored, which takes into account the holistic view of human society and nature, and that is how harmony between progress and planet could be achieved. Elaborating India's approach to growth, development, and well-being for all, Prime Minister proposed a few actionable for the G20 to consider. These included, number one, creation of a G20 Global Traditional Knowledge Repository. This would harness collective wisdom of humanity for the benefit of future generations. Secondly, creation of a G20 Africa Skills Multiplier. This program would aim to create a pool of 1 million certified trainers for skilling the youth in Africa. The third, creation of a G20 Global Healthcare Response Team, which would comprise healthcare experts from each of the G20 members and could be deployed to deal with global health challenges in any part of the world. The fourth, establishing a G20 Open Satellite Data Partnership, a program of satellite data in which G20 space agencies would make information available to developing countries for agriculture, fisheries, disaster management, among other activities. Fifth, he also talked about creation of a G20 Critical Minerals Circularity Initiative, an initiative which would foster recycling, urban mining, second life battery projects, and innovation of various types, and help in strengthening supply chain security and develop cleaner pathways of development. And finally, Honorable Prime Minister mentioned about creation of a G20 initiative on countering the drug and terror nexus. In the afternoon, Honorable Prime Minister addressed a session on a resilient world, G20 contribution to disaster risk reduction, climate change, just energy transition, food systems. He appreciated that a disaster risk reduction working group initiated by India during its presidency has been taken forward by the South African presidency. Prime Minister noted that the approach to disaster resilience should be development-centric rather than response-centric, as exemplified by the Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure in India. Prime Minister called for greater collective action on climate agenda to strengthen food security. In this context, he also noted the value of millets in promoting nutritional security and environmental sustainability. Prime Minister also recalled the Deccan Principles on Food Security, which were adopted during India's presidency and he hoped that such an approach should become the basis for creating a G20 roadmap on food security. He also called upon developed countries to meet their climate action commitments on providing affordable finance and technology to developing countries in a time-bound manner. Prime Minister, of course, sought greater voice for the Global South in global governance structures. In this context, he recalled the inclusion of the African Union as a permanent member of G20 during India's presidency in New Delhi 2 years back, which was a major step forward, and he felt that this inclusive spirit must continue beyond G20. Now, coming to the outcome of the South African presidency, I think all of you have been following reports coming out in media through various platforms within the framework of the overarching theme of solidarity, equality, and sustainability. The G20 this year has delivered a strong message on 4 key priorities that were identified by the South African presidency, which included strengthening disaster resilience and response, taking action to ensure debt sustainability for low-income countries, harnessing critical minerals for sustainable economic growth, and mobilizing finance for just energy transition. There was a focus on the issues and priorities of Africa, which are reflected in the G20 South Africa Summit Leaders Declaration, which was adopted by the members who were gathered at the summit today. I would like to also say before concluding that it is encouraging to see how the initiatives and outcomes that were shaped during our presidency have continued to evolve, gather momentum, and translate into concrete progress across the G20 and taken forward by the South African friends during their presidency. So with these comments, I would like to perhaps stop here. I would like to only say that there is a third session tomorrow of the summit. Honorable Prime Minister proposes to make an intervention on the theme of the third session, and there would be also on the margins a meeting of the India, Brazil, South Africa leaders tomorrow morning. So with these words, I think I would like to stop here.
Let me fill you in with some of the bilateral engagements that the Prime Minister has had. On the first day of his arrival, the Prime Minister met with the Prime Minister of Australia. The two leaders discussed diversification and deepening of India-Australia relationship. As you would be aware, some of you, that this is a relationship which was elevated to the level of comprehensive strategic partnership in 2020. And in the last 5 years, this relationship has done exceedingly well, and we have made significant progress. Prime Minister Albanese, he conveyed deepest condolences on the latest terror attack in Delhi, and both leaders renewed their commitment to strengthen global fight against terrorism. The two leaders, they discussed as to how to take this relationship forward, and in this context, they talked about strengthening political ties, strategic ties, defense and security issues, trade and investment ties, also collaboration in the fields of critical minerals, mobility, education, energy partnership, and how to strengthen people-to-people linkages between the two countries. They also discussed issues of regional and global importance. Prime Minister also had several pull-asides, and we have put out details about each of those meetings. Today, on the sidelines of the G20 summit, Prime Minister met with President of France. India-France relationship, of course, very important, a force for global good. He met the President of South Korea. This was the second meeting that he was having with President of South Korea. Again, a country with which we have special strategic partnership. He met the President of Brazil, President Lula, Prime Minister of UK, Sir Keir Starmer, the UN Secretary General, the Prime Minister of Malaysia, the Prime Minister of Singapore, the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, the Chancellor of Germany, Prime Minister of Vietnam, as also Director General of WTO and the Director General of WHO. In addition, Prime Minister also met with the President of Angola and also the President of Sierra Leone.